The Menace from the East. The greatest deck known to man. Blue, purple, Luffy. What else could it be? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification. We are once again back with a deck list for the Menace from the East. Blue, purple, Luffy. This deck is really weird in the sense that there's not one consensus build for it, as everything in it is really, really good. You can build this in almost every single way. As you can see from my list, I'm running a Mihawk, and I'm only running one Bond Clay. I'm running 2 Grab Blades instead of, like, some people are playing, like, this is a 3 of, 0 of this. This deck list is all over the place. But the good thing about that is it allows you to essentially make a deck that you are comfortable with, because you're always going to be able to know that, like, the list is built for you and you specifically. The only thing that, like, everyone agrees on, unironically, is just going to be, like, 4 Sanji, 4 of the Charlotte Linlins, 4 of this Sanji, 4 of the Uso Hachis, 4 of the Gum Gum Giants. Outside of that, every ratio and every other, like, card is kind of, like, up to your discrepancy as far as, like, how many you want to play of each one. Do you even want to play it? It's not going to be something, like, crazy along the lines of, like, oh, you have to play this list. It's nothing like that. I guess, like, it's, how do you say it? The more you play the deck, the more you come to realize there are certain cards that aren't so good at 4. There's certain cards that aren't so good at 2. There's certain cards that you just don't like in the deck in general. I'm not a big fan of Bond Clay. I feel like this card doesn't have, like, a real true turn that you can play it with it being safe consistently. That being your second turn going second. Outside of that, I can't find a spot to, like, play this card. So it's just a 1 of. If you see it, you see it. If not, it's a 1k counter. It is what it is. So one of the interesting things about this deck is there's not really a true curve going first or second. You're always going to be basically doing the exact same play, which is you're going to be playing Zoro Juro into a God Thread or another Meta Ramp into your Katakuri or even 9-drop Lin Lin. It just really depends on what the situation is like. You're never going to be able to essentially get to this point where you're never going to drop Sanji on your first 9-Don turn, just because you never really get to be able to use your Leader's Effect to be able to essentially stack your deck, draw 1, stack it for Luffy, draw the card that you want to draw off the top, and then you go Sanji. That's not happening. So you're looking for a combination of ramp cards into something to delay the game to get into Sanji. So this is how you use your Leader's Effect. Once you hit your 8-Don turn, you can be on your 9-Don turn, does not really matter. You look at the top 5, you're going to add a Straw Hat card, and then you essentially from there start stacking it in any order. If you already have the Sanji in hand, then what you're going to do is you're going to add, put on top of your stack the counter that you want, so that way you draw for turn. And then when you go Sanji, you reveal the top of your deck, and hopefully it's either a Lin Lin or it's a Katakuri. If it's a Lin Lin, then you need to know what your 4th card is, or your 3rd card is, so that way when you stack that life, you know what your life is at all times. If you play the Katakuri, then you're just playing a blocker. Any of these are fine options, as this deck is very versatile and very, very strong. So now let's talk about the pros and the cons. This deck is very, very weak early game. You're really only playing Zoro Juro. You're using Gear Second, maybe to even use for Dawn. You can go Bond Clay, and you can go God Thread. But that's really it. You're not really doing anything, like, past that. Essentially, you're not creating a board state where you're able to use your monsters to attack your opponent's monsters or even their life. You're playing a very slow early game, and because of that, you're very susceptible to, like, Bello Betty, Zoro, or other decks that can, like, kill you by 1,000 cuts, where they're just swinging 6 at you, and you have to deplete your hand because you're only a 3-life leader, and you're not able to essentially be able to put out anything to deal with it. That's why I'm saying that, like, I think you have to play a very early board control build. But in return for that, once you get past that, this deck goes crazy powerful. You're very consistent at putting out 2 big bodies a turn, being Sanji into Lin Lin or Katakuri, or even Mihawk to bottom deck something. Or if you want the aggression, you play there's 2 Rush Luffys, 1 bounces a 4 cost or less back to hand, and then you can give a Dawn to your leader or even to itself. And then you just effectively have so much pressure off of just 1 turn of that that you can retake control of the game state and you're able to just clear bodies. So that's the trade-off. Is your early game is probably some of the weakest in the game that we've ever seen, but your late game is on par with something as powerful as like 10 drop Katakuri just or dropping 10 drop Big Mom, 10 drop Big Mom, or even like a Nell where they're just dropping big guys after big guys after big guys, and it really shows just how strong this deck is. So here we have a matchup against Nami, whose effect is every time someone takes, basically if they take a life, she draws a card during a turn. So it's very powerful especially because she wants to get very aggressive. So as you see, we're just gonna play the Zoro Juro. We know an Atlas is coming, or a Zeus, whatever it's called, pops it. It is what it is. We're fine. All we're going to do here is just also get really aggressive. We see that she went already down to 1 life. So we're saying, okay, if you want to play this game, let's just go for it. Here, this player really thinks about it, and I think she kind of messed up by just deciding to pitch her whole hand to counter for it. And it's just like, okay, mate. Here, we have no issue just giving her a life, make her just go effectively -1. You can take the life. It does not really matter. I'm all for just playing this short, long game. However you want to do it, I'm all for it. As you can see, we're just going to make her play weird cards per turn. It is what it is. He plays the 8-drop Rush Luffy. I don't really care. Just countering what we need. We finally get to our Dawn where we can do the effect. As you can see, I stack what I want, and then we're just going to play the non-drop Lin. It's kind of unfortunate that like there's 3 Namis there, and it's like, brother, okay. It is what it is, though. We know that no matter what, she's gonna do something weird. Bomb decks, it is what it is. I'm not too concerned with it. I know that like, hey, I'm just gonna chill here. It does not matter to me. We go this. Gear second to counter. We know that we only want to take 1 life. It's okay if he draws. And then we're just going to be off to the races. So as you see, we have the 9-drop Sanji into 8-drop Rush Luffy. We give ourselves the counter. I'm thinking about doing Dawn allocation a little bit different, but I'm like, no, we're just going to go straight for his life. We're going to do 6 to life to see if he goes effect to pitch a card from hand. He does. And then we just start swinging into his big guy. And just like that, we can see that like we have controlled the board state so well here that it does not matter. And then on top of it, we know that like, okay, well now I can just trash my life. I don't really care. I'm just gonna counter. It does not matter. And then we also know that like, what's he gonna do here? Swing this. We got the counter for it. Not an issue at all. Now we see like God combo in the sense of we have the Sanjis, the Linlins, the Katakuris. It does not matter. We have everything we could ever want and more. I'm debating on what I want to do here between the Katakuri blocker and the Linlin, but I opted to go for the Linlin just to be on the safe side. We know that he has 2 cards in hand, so we know that this card is dead no matter what. I did decide to just not swing into his life as I didn't want him to trigger a body. I didn't want to have to trigger a body and then have to put it right back in. I'd rather just deal with it next turn and just push for game. We know that here we're in a really good spot. He has 2 life with a grand total of 2 cards in hand, so we know that at most he can go to 9. So we're just going to start peckering him for 9. 9. He ends up taking this, so it tells me that his hand's probably bricked up, and then we know we can just swing for 9 again. What is this guy going to do? And that's the game. So here we're playing against the Purple Katakuri. Purple Katakuri is a really good deck as it can always kind of match you with being like a 6k leader at all times. And then on top of it, it can play the Rush Lin. It can play the 8-drop Katakuris. It can cheat them out. This deck's really, really strong. But gameplay never changes. You always want to play Zoro Juro. If they pop it, they pop it. It is what it is. You're always just going to look to just ramp as much as possible. So that's what we're doing here. We're just ramping. That's the name of the game. I'm firmly in the mindset that when you're playing this deck, you just have to ramp and just be willing to play a slow game. One of the things I noticed when I was looking at my stats about how well I was doing, I noticed that for the most part, we were always at this 9 to 7 turns. So 7 to 9 turns is kind of like the average of how long most of my games are going. Opponent swings 9. I don't care. I'm going to take more than likely the play here. There's multiple options. We see Linlin. Linlin's always disgusting, but we don't need him for now. So we just grab the 1-drop. 5 cost, KO this. Disgusting as always. Start placing on top. Yep. This deck just has so much value at all times. It just feels so good. As you can see, that's where he drops his 8-drop. Kind of curry. Grab. This deck's so strong. You just like look at it and you're like, oh, my hand is never an issue. Never an issue. Yeah, pudding here is good. Just a lot of pressure. Well, brush Linlin. Yeah. Brush Linlin's really good. I think that card's disgusting. There's the Sanji. There's that. Stack that. So, same thing. We're just going to do some baby swings. Swing 6. See if we pitch a card. He does. There's no reason. He's going to go that. He's going to see this, that. He still has to pitch a card. I don't really care. Then we just play this. Gain a life. And now we have all the 2Ks in the world. We're in a really good spot. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why you would play the blocker. It's just going to get bounced right back to hand. And then from here, because he can't go effect again, because if he goes effect again, we just kind of punish. And then we see Red Rock. Red Rock is so disgusting here, because we can just Red Rock out the problem board, or problem body. You know, swing 6. See what he does. Nasty. So our last matchup's always going to be, you know, what is the other meta of this format? For this deck, or for this format, it seems to be purple green Luffy. I've been on the train. I think this deck's cope. I think for this deck to be good, you have to see way too much for it to be, how do you say, to be consistent. Because, like, as you can see, like, we have so many options to just deal with it. They have to, like, respect, they have to respect your ramp. And then on top of it, they can't really do what they want to do, which is, like, take every life, be able to have so much in life so that way, or so many cards in hand, so they can just kind of, like, counter everything and then some. Whenever you're just going to have to end up putting them at some point, and then they lose so many resources that they don't know what to do. So, like, I generally do believe this is a very favorable matchup for us. Like, it never feels like a bad scenario, because here we go, like, okay, he can swing 6 here. Cool, I'll take. Swing 6 here. We can just counter. We're still in a really good spot. Like, look at this. This is so disgusting. Usohachi into Linlin, so we can always just have all this, and then on top of it, we can now bottom deck the Zoro and say, good luck, buddy. You finally see stage. It's a little late. It is what it is. I still don't think this is really a good spot for him, because at the end of the day, like, what is he going to do? He can, you know, manipulate his Don a little bit. He can get some pressure in, but the problem is he's not going to get, like, good swings in. So he'll take this one. He'll do this one. Just do that. Use up one of the Dons. Same thing. None of those cards are good, so we can put them all to the bottom. That's pretty good. Having a 8-drop Katakuri is always really strong. Just seeing him waste all those cards in hand, but You know what's better than that? Probably just a Linlin. Because you can just put the Zoro back into life and just kind of. What are you going to do here, mate? Dwindling down of your resources. We can take that one. Take counter. I'm still not worried because even if he goes 6-drop, we can counter it and still be in a really good spot. He plays the third Zoro. I don't know what he's going to be looking for at this point. It's really hard to say. Like, even the Sanchi pudding isn't enough. He probably needs to rush Luffy to be, like, even halfway remotely decent. If not, it's just kind of very mediocre at best. That's a really good. Getting that one cost event so I don't have to pitch my life. Yeah, we bottom deck those two. There's no reason not to. Swing 10, see if he starts using his 2-cost event. If he does, then we're in a really, really, really good spot. And then we just pass. I guess he didn't want to go down to 6 Dawn for the turn, because if he goes 6 Dawn for the turn, then the problem is he can play the rush, but then he can't do anything with it. Yeah, that's why. He had the rush Luffy. He wanted to be able to utilize it. Sorry, bud. I have all the counter in the world. Kind of feel bad for the guy. Like, generally just like a, what do you do? I can even take this because I generally don't care. What are you gonna do? Oh, he just plays that. That's fine. So here we can kind of do like a lot of things. Same thing. Just swing 9. Just start removing his board little by little. I don't know what he's really doing because, like, yeah, you can Uso Hachi and you can do some things, but I don't really see it being a real solution to the issue. Like, your numbers are really wrong. And that's the game. I think he had to get like a little bit wider with his swings as far as like their value.